Today we've looked at solving equations with like terms, not just distributing. And these were the steps that I gave you in class. And remember that these are just steps to guide you. It's not necessarily steps that you always have to follow 100% of the time, which we'll look at more towards the end of the year. But right now, I just wanted to give you a process, something always to fall back on. Our first step is to distribute, which we looked at, or we have a lot of practice with this past week. The second step is to combine like terms, and that's new. And then our third step, we said we solve like a boss, all right? Which just means that we're solving it, showing everybody we know what's up with the equation. Basically, whenever we get from this step, from combine like terms, that's going to lead us to either have x's on both sides or our friends and family, what we call. Now, if we do have x's on both sides, then we're going to go ahead and get it to friends and family. And this basically is always our steps, all right? So whenever I ask you, especially over the next few weeks, what are our steps for solving equations, you're going to tell me distribute, combine like terms, and solve. And if you want to say like a boss, you can add that in there too. All right, we're going to go ahead and look at some example problems. Our first example problem is written right here underneath our steps. And if you remember, we went through, we said, is there anything to distribute? No, because I don't see anything with parentheses. And then I asked you, are there any like terms on the same side of the equal sign? I'm not asking what are the like terms in the entire equation. I'm just asking what are the like terms on one side of the equation. So we're going to look at the left side, and then we're going to look at the right side. Now, we also used our highlighters in class just to highlight what our like terms were. And I told you that, well, I didn't tell you, but we discussed how like terms are either the same variables or just plain old numbers. So let's go ahead. We're going to highlight our like terms, which should be negative 14 and 7. And then our other set of like terms was 6 and negative 2, because they're both b's and here they're both numbers. Now, if we look on the right-hand side of the equation, these are not like terms, because this is a number and this is a b. So there's nothing to highlight here. Now, another thing that we said when we made this statement, we said that like terms like to keep the same signs. So, since like terms like to stay the same, that means that I'm not going to say plus 14, because I'm not moving it and I'm not changing sides of my equation. So since they're like terms, they like to stay the same. So in your calculator or in your head, you would do negative 14 plus 7. And that's going to give you negative 7. Then you're going to come here, once again, like terms like to stay the same. So 6 minus 2 would be positive 4b. Bring down what was on the right-hand side of the equation. And then now we have a simple equation that we can. So let's go ahead and recap real quick. First step, the first step was to distribute. There was nothing to distribute. Second step said to combine like terms, and we did that. So now we're at the third step, which means solve like a boss. So, and if you look right here, we actually do, and it's not an x, it's a b, but they're on both sides. So from here, we know how to move it. So instead of adding 4, I'm going to subtract 4. And then remember, we need to write from left to right so we don't make any mistakes. So bring down your negative 7 equals 1 plus 1b. And then you're going to go ahead and you have family and friends. You get rid of your friend first. And you would have negative 8, I'm sorry about that line, equals 1b. And then you just divide by 1. And negative 8 divided by 1 is negative 8. And once again, you see this part right here with this 1b. You don't have to write that 1b. It's not necessary. You can go ahead and just put plus b if you want. All right, let's go ahead and do another example. Okay, if we look at this problem, we're going to go through our 3 steps again. And is there anything to distribute? Yes, we have this term. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to write it from the left. But this time I'm going to distribute out positive 4 times 1. And since that would be positive 4, that's why I put plus 4 down here. Then I'm going to distribute again. Positive 4 times positive 5 is a positive 20. N equals negative 16 minus 14. Just bring that down. Now we're in step 2, combine like terms. Are there any like terms on this side of the equation? Yes, because there's 2 n's. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight. This time I'm going to do pink because pink's pretty. So I'm going to highlight negative 8n, highlight 20n. All right, and is there any like terms right here? Nope. So we're going to go ahead and go. And remember what we say. Like terms like to stay the same. So negative 8 plus 20 would give me positive 12n, bring down your plus 4, equals negative 6n minus 14. Then we're in step 3, and we're going to solve it. So I like to move over my smallest variable, so plus 6n to both sides. Going from left to right, I'm going to have 18n plus 4 equals negative 14. Make sure you bring this negative down. A lot of times people forget that, but you will not because you're going to be equation pros. So then subtract 4 from both sides. Then we're going to have 18n equals negative 18. And then from there, we're going to divide by 18. And our final answer should be n equals negative 1. Okay, we're going to do one more example, and then that'll be all for the video. So let's go ahead and look at our steps. The first step says, is there anything to distribute? And yes, we can clearly see here that we need to distribute our 7. So let's go ahead and do that. 7 times 5a would be a positive 35a. Do not just bring down this minus sign. Don't do that. You're going to want to distribute, and you're going to say, what is positive 7 times negative 4? Well, positive 7 times negative 4 is a negative 28, so minus 28. Never, ever, ever just bring down that sign. Ugh. Yuck. All right, then we're going to finish out the problem. And then our step 2 says to combine like terms. So let's look on the left-hand side. Are there any like terms? Yes, there are. And our like terms are negative 28 and negative 1. There's no like terms here. And remember, like terms like to stay the same. So we would just do this in our heads exactly as we see it. We don't change the signs. Bring down 35a, and you would have negative 29 equals 14 minus 8a. And then step 3, solve the equation like a boss. So which one's smallest, 35a or negative 8a? Negative 8a. So I'm going to add 8a. And then I'm going to have, that will give me 43a minus 29 equals 14. Friends and family, your friends leave first. So add 29. So 43a equals 43. And then divide by 43. And our answer should be a equals 1. Okay. You have some worksheets. You can also Google problems that say solving multi-step equations. That'll also give you some more practice problems. But next week we're going to practice this again, and we're also going to start looking at equations with fractions. So thanks for watching.